Is that an elephant in the office? What in the world? Am I the only one that sees that? Can't be. Hey, cousin colleagues. Welcome to the More Laughing at Work podcast. Let's talk. I don't know why they keep inviting Susie Q to the daggone after work socials. When are they going to get the hint? She's not coming, bro. Look. Susie Q always got an excuse. Susie Q says she can't come. She got to get a babysitter. She don't have a babysitter. Susie Q don't have any babies. She doesn't even have any animals. She's not even a pet mom. Susie Q does. She's not even pregnant with an idea. She just says she's not coming. Look, watch. And Bobby the boss gets upset every time. Why are they so offended? I don't take it personal. I mean, I don't want to go myself, but I go sometimes. Oh my, this is awkward. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking to y'all. I can't listen anymore. If nobody else sees how awkward this is, and I guess I don't see it either. See what? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the More Laughing at Work podcast. Yeah, baby. We did it. We made it through yet another week. I am your host, comedian and HR lady, Allison Moore. And the More Laughing at Work podcast is, a little bit of work life-ish, some money-ish in there, and then some funny-ish in there. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit because, we work life is a part of life and money funds the fun parts of life and funny fuels. Okay, whatever. The bottom line is you are here. It's another week and I just want to sprinkle a little fun and a little funny in that space of professional development and growing through our professional journeys. Okay, so listen. So this week we are switching it up a little bit, dropping a segment per day. So we already had a show full of colorful segments. We got our office elephant segment. That's our segment where we just point out these awkward elephants that sit around here in the office and don't nobody seem to see but us. We the only ones that see. Y'all don't see that. Don't nobody see that but me. Okay. Anyway, so we have the office elephant segment. We have the professional perspective where I try to my best to put on the professional perspective and just kind of talk through some things that are just impacting us in our professional lives, right? And then we have our More Laughing all the way to the bank segment because again, the only reason why I am working is for the money. Okay. I mean, I am a good person and I want to give back to my community. I want to do a whole lot of stuff. I do, but I don't want to have to work. And I do. I have to. And I am doing it for money. Okay. And so I just think since we, doing that part, I might as well make a conscious effort to improve my own financial management skills, literacy, because, I want to pass along wealth to my generation. So we got the More Laughing all the way to the bank segment and just encourages us in our personal finance. When we have a guest, those are our coworker cousins, and they come and join us in the break room for a coworker conversation. And so the coworker conversations are with, it's just like having a conversation with a coworker that you like. Oh, I had to pause there because I just want y'all to know I thought of some people that I did not like. I still don't like, but I'm not gonna do that. We're not gonna talk about them right here, right now. This ain't that. I'm growing. I'm a mature person. Kind of sometimes today I am mature. Okay, moving on. And last but not least, we have the off the record segment. So the off the record segment is, you know what I'm saying, where imagine you got a friend that used to work in human resources and you got a question. Ask your friend an off the record kind of question, you don't want to go to the real HR lady at your job because you don't want her to know what's in the back of your mind. But you don't have a problem asking your friends. That's me. So boom. So that's the off the record segment that you write into me, and I give you an HR-ish answer bars. Your mama ain't got no bars. Anyway, listen. So I was trying a couple of weeks. This is our episode 6, and I was trying a couple of weeks. The first 5 episodes, we just had a long podcast because I mean, it's a podcast. It's not a 15-minute radio show. It's a podcast. But you know what? Listen, my producer, my aunties and uncles, they were like, girl, why don't you just try chopping it up over the week? So that's what we're doing. We're going to see. I feel like it's a lot of accountability to make sure that I'm getting that in there and I'm doing it. But you know what? I can do all things through Christ. Because I'm smart, I'm kind, I'm important. Okay. So today, our perspective is, drumroll please, it's episode 6. And today's episode is all about, in its entirety, building a work community. It's a must-have, y'all. I don't know how you do it without one, but listen, that's why we in the MooreLaughing at Work family are building our community, because it's so important. Just like the office elephant, like oftentimes it's not even personal. I've been here all day, y'all. I don't want to come to the event afterward. I don't want to see you another second. You want to know why? Because the 8 hours that I'm here, I'm not even being my real self. This is a whole cold switcheroo. And I'm tired. I'm tired of acting. That's why, y'all, for real, side note, when I do get my awards, my Emmy, what am I going to get, a Grammy, or Oscar? What am I going to get? Wait, not a Grammy. Hold up, even though put me in the right shower, baby, with the right aesthetics, I might drop an album on you, host. Okay, focus. An Emmy and Oscar. I'm not gonna get up there and say I just started acting. The devil is a liar. I have been acting all my life. I had to fight. I was a minority since the 2nd grade, and I have been a different person in my outer spaces the whole time. So when it's an opportunity for me to go in a place that I feel safe, warm, and welcome, then I want to do that. I don't want to give up my social private time to do more pretending and acting. Now, if you want me to be more with you in the evenings and in my time, then you can do your part in creating an environment that makes you feel safe and welcome, that I can take off my hat. But that's a whole nother thing. Like, I really actually encourage people not to take off their hats, because your girl has learned that too. I'm the type, people say, oh no, you could just feel real comfortable. And I really take them up on that, and they don't mean it. Shout out to the overshares, and especially those of you who are starting your professional journey, or maybe those of us who are just trying to make a difference, change. I mean, your oversharing needs to stop. We got to stop. It never works out for our good. It doesn't matter how vulnerable, transparent, loving we want people to know that we're doing too much. Shut up. Anyway, I really think that the work community is so crucial, because on the other hand, you need someone to talk to about what's going on in your work life. And you don't necessarily want to dump all that on your partner. You don't, not your kids, your friend. You know what I'm saying? You might, it's just valuable. Now, I'm not talking to those of y'all who got work husbands and wives and boyfriends and girlfriends, and then you got ones at homes. And that's a whole nother, we're going to do an episode of that too, because I want to get into it, but not today. But today's purpose, we are talking about, I really find that there is value in having an intentional community that you know is your work, your professional journey group, friends, pals, squad. But I am a person that believes in trying to find that community outside of those that you literally work with every day. Now, it could be because I'm scarred. Listen here. Your girl done made some mistakes in her professional journey, because I am the type that when I'm all in. Like, I come from the beginning. I'm all up front with my emotions, my love, the relationship. Like, you got me from the beginning. And once you start acting funny, I'm pulling back. Most humans, they come gradually. They give of themselves gradually. Me, I'm the reverse. It does not always work. But what I have found professionally that works against me, because I'm like, I'm here and here's all the things I can do. And I'm so excited. I'll tell you everything and yada, yada. And then after a while, after we start to blend, I realized that I exposed way too much of myself and you can't take that back. And the things that you expose and what you put out there impacts your trajectory. However, at the same time, I need somebody to talk to. I need someone to kind of air out my weirdness, my thoughts, my mindset, and have someone who can say, no, girl, don't say that. Or someone that when they share their experience, I can learn or have some empathy, or it can help me in my own. Like, I think that that's valuable. So I'm always an advocate for getting a community outside of work because of the risk that can happen when those relationships at work go south. But I don't want to be the type of person that's just like, no new friend, don't talk to nobody at work. Like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to come across as that way. You might have some good people that you work with. Maybe it's just me that select all these toxic jobs. You know what I'm saying? The one where I'm at right now, I am moving and growing and everything is fantastic. I'm not jinxing it. Y'all don't jinx it. I've been humbled. I have been humbled. Yeah, no, she's somebody. Come on there. However, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. And so I oftentimes recall on some of my past work experiences. I mean, that's a part of why it was so easy to get your girl to quit corporate America and go do comedy. And I didn't even know comedy was a thing. Like, those of you who know my story, on stand-up comedian. And I had never even been to a comedy show until I was 30 years old. And it was at a church in my hometown area. Not just like the fact that it was a church, but it is to, I guess, kind of amplify the fact that it was not a traditional comedy where you're going to find real stand-up comedy. So it was just, I just know it was a gift and something I probably passed the path multiple times on my journey, but I was supposed to get on the comedy train. However, I didn't know anything about it. So it wasn't really real. It wasn't like it was something that people, that I guess I had been a child dreaming of it. And so the moment I had a chance to do it, I was going to jump on it. Like, no. In fact, I didn't even like comedy. Comedy was actually a little trigger because of my secondhand embarrassment condition. When I was a little girl, I felt like the only thing comedians do was just talk about people and bully people in the audience. I grew up in the 90s where it was like Def Jam comics and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Kings of Comedy tour was out. And when I was in like 11th and 12th grade, like, it was, you walk by with a blue hat, they're roasting you. Turn on the lights and I already grew up being teased and things for like being dark skinned. I feel like in case somebody's like, what? Huh? Yeah, yes, that was a thing. That is a thing. Still a thing, actually, in some spaces. But shout out to any of you who have young girls and boys who are dark skinned. Just remember that they're probably getting teased because colorism is alive and well. Encourage them and just tell them that when they turn 35, you go from being blackie to be fine and chocolate. I'm just saying, just wait it out, baby. Wait it out. Anyway, probably, let me stay focused. Nope, we gonna go there. Let's go there. Y'all want to go there? I know you do. Because you at work. You want me to break the ice anyway. I believe that it was necessary for me. I couldn't have been anything other than a dark-skinned girl. Let me tell you why. You want to know why? Because being a dark-skinned, I was skinty. So I was the last one to develop any kind of little niblets, naplets, nothing lits. Speaking of naplets, I had them all in the back of my neck. Naplets. The hair, it was no hair, but it was naps. And it shaped me to be the cool sister girl, good dressing young lady that I was. Now, the jeans was the jeans, I looked the way I was looking. It is what it is. But if I was the type, I was the type. But I was not at that time the top recruited young lady by the boys. Do y'all follow me? You follow me? So, it just helped me to build the homegirl sidekick persona, which probably protected me from getting AIDS. Can I just say it? Can I? Can I just say it? Because let me, these sound effects, I'm sorry if this is your first time meeting me. I wish I could tell you that they weren't real, but they are. They come out of me, and it is what it is. Your mama got sound effects. But listen, when I got pregnant in college, I was 20. And I called my mom and told her, because I am trash. I am not trash, but that was a trash move to tell mom. I ain't even had the balls to tell her in person. I called her on the phone and told her. And my mama said, I guess this is my fault because I prayed that you would get through high school. I forgot to pray about college. I said, you're right, mama. It is your fault. And you know what? It was her fault. And we just sprinkled the Lord. It was his fault too. And then because he made me dark skinned. And then that's why I wasn't really fast in high school. And the fastery didn't pick up until I got into college. And then, how did we get here, guys? How did we get here? Yep. This is why you need a coworker community that's not at work. You see the kind of conversations that you can have with me that I don't need to be having with nobody else but you. You understand what I'm saying? Can you imagine me saying this in the break room? Some people that work with you do say stuff like this in the break room and you think that they're weird. Anyway, okay, so listen. So back on topic to the topic of the topics, right? We're talking about building a work community. And I know that I went down a couple of little left and right streets, some side streets. Okay. Don't know if I can get us back to the interstate that we were on, but we're going to go ahead and take this little side road. I'm familiar with it on the way home. Fair? Okay. Because here's my professional perspective when you're talking about building a work community. I've been really triggered, it's the word today, by all of this conversation and rhetoric over the last week or so about Angel Reese. It really hit home for me because I understand what it's like to be misinterpreted. That's my takeaway. So let me just, for those of you who don't follow the story or don't know what's going on, I'm not really heavy and deep in the story myself either, but it is the college women's basketball shippery type of situation going on. And it was one team, LSU, playing the other team. I think it was Iowa. These are the women. And the team with the black stars, I mean, because it by the time I saw the headlines, it definitely was a race thing. So the one player, her name was Angel. She's a black woman. You have another star player on the other team. Her name was Caitlin. She's a white woman. So this is the headline piece that I'm just following and just hit home for me and made me feel a certain type of way. Following the part about apparently they had done some similar aggressive gestures, but all relevant and not even considered aggressive in the world of sports type stuff, like hand in the face, like whatever kind of, I mean, just all of the adrenaline and the energy and the whatever, all the things that you expect from athletes competing at that level at the final game, right? Boom. So they make the same gestures, but the narrative interpretation, the way that it was received and explained when Caitlin did it was, athletic, passionate, aggressive, leader, hardcore, boom. Positive things that you want of an athlete. The young lady who was black, Angel, who did the same thing, it was perceived and the narrative was totally different. Hood, ghetto, classless, unsportsmanlike, etc. That for me was enough. But then there was more to the story, like later after that. I think so LSU won, and I guess First Lady Jill Biden weighed in and was like, this is my summary. Everybody did great. Let's bring both of the teams to the White House, which for those who are not sports people, it's like the winners go to the White House. That's it. And it's a thing. And so then her inviting both of them made it, the backlash to that was like, here we go, where black women's actions are over policed. And also at the same time, here we go, where America coddles white fragility. They lost. Why are they coming? Is it because we don't want them? We don't want to allow the impression of a black woman or black teen overcoming the white. Like that was a lot of the energy and the rhetoric around that. Then another piece of that happened after that was like Asia, excuse me, not Asia, Angel, she's like, oh yeah, no, we good. We don't want to come. And I guess maybe even a teammate, a sidekick, a homegirl was like, oh yeah, maybe a teammate. Because she's like, by the way, we don't want to come over there, but hey, what's good at the Obamas? I want to go to that cookout. Me too. Anyway, so then the president speaks out like, good game. Shout out to LSU. Come on through the crib. I think First Ladies, people comes back and says, hey, we didn't mean no harm, I guess. I think. But the LSU sports organization says like, oh yeah, we don't care about Angel saying we not coming. She don't get to say we not coming. We coming. We will be there. Drop the location. And so it's just, there's a lot, right? But that's enough for me. That's enough for me because it was enough for me in the beginning where I saw that, right? Like I saw myself in situations where what I did was overly policed, it was scrutinized, it was amplified, it was totally received and interpreted different than peers that were different than me, whether it be a female, white female, or white male. That has been my experience. I haven't had many experiences with working with other races that until my current job now, which I love the diversity in this role. But prior to that, right beside each other to have these type of experiences, it was just definitely black and white. And that was very, I remember feeling like that I was misinterpreted and I was not supported and respected. And then when you add on the extra piece, so like that, when I saw all of that going on, I was like, that's enough. I'm good. That's that. It just hurt me. I didn't like it. I felt me stuff in there. I was like, I need to register. I need a session with my therapist. Then when you go to Angel and them like, well, we're not coming. We're going to the Obamas. Forget y'all. And then the organization like, tell them little kids to be quiet and sit at the little kid table. We're coming. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I didn't know that I was going to, have such a reaction or a feeling or whatever to this because I don't even follow the sport for real. But that hurt me too because I'm like, I wonder what Angel feels like knowing that she was one of the top reasons why they got to where they got. She felt whatever she felt, and I'll just say offended by even First Ladies. I mean, just all of that was just a mess. But Angel was offended. And so her organization is like, yeah, no, forget what Angel says, we're going. Now, there are people that are like, yeah, she can't speak on behalf of an organization. And I get it. I really do get that. I mean, I also get the organization like, girl, we've been at this for a long time and this is on the bucket list for us. So you ain't got to go if you don't want to go, but we going. Like, I get that. I get all of the pieces of it. I just also identify with the person because I was in a situation at work where I felt that I was unfairly treated and I wasn't supported and my organization didn't hold me down. And the elevated insult to injury was that I felt like I produced so much for that organization. I had already given so much for that organization, and the role that they had me in was literally a role that can take our organization to the next level. I mean, it was just a major impact. Like what I feel like Angel probably feels like she makes to her organization, her team. That's the basketball team, it's colleges, etc. But I see the parallel there. The difference would just be, somebody that's working there and maybe for her is her teammates and her coach. But then I see that in corporate or at work as it was your coworkers or your boss. And that just brings me back to the theme here, the what I'm feeling, the importance of that work community that is not at work. Because like I said, I can only imagine what she's going through right now. how hurt she could be, whether she's right or whether she's wrong. She's still a person. She's still a huge contributor to that organization. And she is a large part of why they are where they are today. So like, how that must feel to feel, first of all, embarrassed, first of all, from just the beginning of like, how come I put my hand up? It's this issue. She do it. It looks like she's being a hero. And just all of the layers of attacks that she's had for her organization to then say, oh, by the way, hey, Bidens, we probably are a bunch of Republicans that didn't even vote for you, but we want to come to the White House. It's probably hurtful. And she's probably, every one of her teammates and her coaches and, anybody else that supports the team, who knows who she's talking to. But I could see me, if that were me, I would blow up so many relationships and probably in my most vulnerable, worst time, overshare and just over process with people that are probably too close. And so I just can't express enough to anybody who's listening that might be going through something at their organization where they feel like they have been, first of all, what they did should not have been interpreted the way that it was. I see you. I'm sorry that you're going through that. I understand that feeling. If you're someone who you don't feel like that your organization supported you and held you down, but you know all of the sacrifices that you made to meet their demands, that's hurtful. I see you, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. And those who don't feel like that they have somebody to talk to, or those who have confided in other relationships or work relationships and they went south, see you, hear you, and sorry you went through that. Hear you. Actually, I don't hear you. I don't even see you, but you get what I'm saying. The moral of the story is, let's get some new friends. So we're building a community here, and you got to plug in. So what do you do? How do you do it? What am I suggesting, Allison? Let's wrap this segment up. The professional perspective takeaway is, get you some new friends, get you some work friends, and you can be as savvy or direct or whatever as you want to be. But what I did and what I am so excited about sharing with you today is my own work community that I've been carefully curating for myself over the last few years for support and for growth and for accountability. And this young lady that I am thinking about today is actually a guest for our coworker conversation. I really want to make that into a song, but I ain't gonna song, y'all. I know we got enough sound effects and random pop-ups and all kinds of things going on. I'm not gonna do you like that. I'm not gonna do another one yet, but that would be okay. Focus. Anyway. So today we have a coworker conversation. Yes, shout out to the coworker cousins that are excited about us bringing some other voices into our podcast. And I'm excited about today's guest. It's my friend Nimo, because I literally met this young lady. She worked at a different company. I was on my entrepreneurial journey. She was like really dope. I was trying to sell some of my services to their company, but I was like, yo, she's sharp. She is smart. She had her stuff together, and it was somebody that I wanted in my space, my community, my network. I kept engaging with her. We stayed in contact, and here we are 2 years later, like real friends. So I cannot wait to share this conversation with you. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and go. Let's just go into the break room right now. You see what we're doing? You see what up? Okay. Let's go on over to our break room for a coworker conversation with Nimo. Okay, so listen here, y'all. We got our coworker cousin in the building. Wait, no, it's coworker cousin in the break room.
That's right, in the break room.
Shout out to my friend Nimo. We are so glad to have you.
Hey, coworker cousins.
Hey, coworker cousins. Will you please introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name is Nimo Seguli. I don't even know what else to say. I'm just really excited to be here.
Yeah, well, because it's been a journey. It's been a journey. You've been on the show 3 times at this point, right? Or is it the second or third time? That has never made it out, Pat. But at least people will believe me now, because I think I've said on a couple of episodes, like, y'all, I'm recording stuff and it's just not making it. But you're a real human that can testify to. I've been on this podcast for a year. Right. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here. Like you already know, I was really excited about having you on the show because I think that you really help bring some color to this co-worker community that we're trying to create in the More Laughing at Work family. And so I'm excited to just see it in real life. Like really our friendship, our relationship has certainly helped inspire quite a bit of this podcast, or for me feeling like why it's really necessary. Cause we've done some, me and you have, we became co-worker cousins. We are real deal co-worker cousins and we don't work together. So that's really cool. So, that's the cool part. And that's the community that I want to have. So let's just start right there. You know, you and I, we met because at that time I did not work for the man. I did not have a 9-to-5. I was working for a worse man. That was myself. And I found myself talking with you as a person who I was trying to pitch my product and service to at the company. I thought you were cool. You thought I were cool. And we've been friends for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's my version.
That's the most accurate version there is. I don't know what other version there could be. No, I feel like I was really inspired when I met you. I think that obviously just like your personality and everything like that, you're very welcoming and stuff like that. And generally when we're working in corporate America and you're on those meetings and people are pitching things, it can become real bland and real boring real quick. But for you, it was just, and I know there was somebody else on the call, but for you, I wasn't really paying attention to somebody else. I was paying attention to you. And I was like, wow, I've always loved podcasts. I've always loved comedy. I've always loved, entrepreneurs and what they do. And I didn't see DEI being in that space until I met you. And then our friendship just grew because it just clicked.
I love it. And the thing about you, because I meet a lot of people and I like a lot of people. And my best friend tells me, everybody thinks that they're your friend. You do a really good job at making people think that they're closer to you, or that you're more impressed than what you are. But you really did impress me because I'm just like in this space right now where if you are not an A+ player, I can't, why? I don't have any space to be around somebody who's not doing their thing or not inspirational or not somebody that I can look to or not somebody that I feel like I could benefit from. And you were like super sharp. Like I was taking a lot of notes. I'm like, I don't even know what this lady talking about, but she is smart. And I'm out here talking about DEI content. I need to learn and grow. Like you are so smart, so graceful. I just really appreciated seeing like how you command space. For me, I've been figuring out how to be a boss, how to be a leader, how to be all these things, but yet still be feminine, still be graceful. How can I be funny, but not overdo it? And I just got so much from you, really elegant and professional, but I don't want to F with you. Like I would not come into your space half ASS on some DEI stuff. Cause baby, you already was like, first of all, we're going to talk about intersections and intersectionality and you're going to learn.
No, you came knowing what you were talking about. But the thing is that we were specialists in our own spaces. And then when we like came together, the fusion was just really seamless and nice and easy. And I think that helped a lot, but it was just chill. Sometimes people come in and they don't even want to really learn, but you wanted to learn, like you wanted to grow. You wanted to be able to inspire others with your comedy, but also have some sort of educational content in there so people could really benefit on another level. And for me, it's like when I see somebody doing that, I want to do whatever I can to help them, like whatever I can, because I know that they're going to flourish. Some people will just talk, just say stuff and be like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. But you're about it, like really about it.
Well, I appreciate that. So let's talk about so that we can make sure that the coworker cousins who are listening, they really benefit from, or I guess walk away with some tools or some to-do, like how they can grow their professional community, their circle, their networking. Because literally that's what you and I did. I think for me, many people are like, oh, girl, you got a lot going on. I would love to be a part or whatever. But I think it was because you were already so sharp, so polished, so smart that you saying, let me know if you need anything. We can talk offline or whatever. I wanted to talk with you. A lot of times people are like, call me, and you're like, for what? You don't even iron your clothes. I don't want to. What are we doing? You get your, like, what am I calling you for? I don't want just a friend. Like, I don't want just a person to.
We're too old for that.
We're too old for that. Just like, okay, girl, if you don't get on Instagram and just like a post, a picture, and we stay connected that way, it's no point in us spending real time together. But anyway, so I'm going back off. Hold on, let's stay focused, because I'm really trying to come off that Allison Island and be more included in the world. I am main character energy that I'm trying to work through. So I think it would be really helpful for you and I to kind of talk about, like, the benefit. What is the point? What is the purpose? I know I have right off, but I want to hear from you. What are the benefits to being intentional about growing professional friendships or network? And let's just start there. Have you found that? Any benefits to that?
Of course, 100%. But I think it also came, like, one, timing is everything, right? Who knew that we were going to meet at that time? Who knew that my, manager was going to connect us? But I think what I recognized when we were talking is that, one, you wanted to do something about what we were talking about, and it wasn't just a conversation, let me just pitch it and then move the other way. You also were really consistent. And for me, when I see that consistency, I'm going to be consistent too. If I see that you're off to the side and not saying anything, bet, me too. I got you. But when I say that I'm going to do something and help somebody and want to see them thrive and grow, I'm about it, and I'm going to be here. And, I might not be the one that can do everything for you, but whatever it is that I can do, I will let you know. And if it works for you, bet. What I gained from it is I told you that entrepreneur spirit that you have. When I saw your entrepreneur spirit, it is something that I wanted to get into. I've been really siloed, very professional, very academic. And then I went into that corporate space and I kept that going, and I wanted to branch out. I'm in a really great place in my career, and I wanted to see what else was out there. And when you had brought up the podcast, I don't know if you remember, but, like, I was hella excited, but I was also really nervous. I was like, what does it entail? What is the time commitment? What is it that I would be able to provide to you? Like, we had a whole conversation, multiple conversations about it. And the fact that you took that time to educate me on something that I had no idea about was incredible for me. That's when I really knew. I was like, nah, she's a friend that's going to be around, but she's also going to be able to help me grow in ways that I didn't see myself growing in specific areas. So that's what kept it going for the 2 years that we've been friends. And sometimes it's not even like work stuff. Like, sometimes we just literally just chat about life and vent and laugh and scream and get angry, curse people out. And then we're like, all right, bet. Thank you.
All right, bet. So for those who are listening, what Nimo is talking about is we came up with this great idea to have a podcast. We're still working on that. It's still in the crock pot. And so we more on that to come for sure. And I agree or second everything that you're saying, and just hearing it, I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool, because I feel like that what you're saying is within our relationships, one of the benefits has been I've been able to kind of help inspire or sharpen your creativity and helping you to see how to be even more creative and have fun in what you already know. I think it's just the exact opposite for, I know that I'm creative, and you help bring that substance, that depth. You help me to be thinking through, outside of just the feeling, what is the, again, what's the substance that people walk away with from your content? And I know that you say, like, you and I, we talk about things more than work. We do. But I really benefit from the fact that you are a professional friend. Because, like, I remember one time, we were talking. I remember a time that we were talking and it wasn't about work. And I said something. I'm like, yeah, that's so retarded. And you were like, yeah, girl, don't say that no more. Baby, I have other friends in the other friend group who we just would have kept going all the way down there. And it would not have been a trigger to me that that's a slur that you don't want to get comfortable saying because you're a professional. And at that time, retarded, when I was working actively in human resources, retarded was not a word that was really shamed and called out the same way. And so, again, it was just one of those, like, I'm so glad I got my professional pal in my corner because you were right. But anyway, thanks for listening.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I think that another reason why I advocate for having people in your life, having friends that are professional, being like-minded, or being in communities where you have that like-minded thing going on is because we need to talk through what's going on at work. And I just don't think it's the safest to do that all the time with the coworkers and people that work there.
Even if they're people that you feel like you can actually trust that might get you, you never know how somebody's going to switch up.
Yep.
You really don't know. And I'm not saying that you can't have coworker cousins or like friends that are professional outside of work who aren't from different cultures and backgrounds and races. Like, we have a lot of differences between us, but you being a Black woman bonds us because there's so much that we experience in our space that is just straight fuckery. And there's really nothing, like, you can't change it overnight. You can change it at some point. I mean, that's my entire job, is to change it. And change that
Shout
culture.
out to the DEI professionals that are really working, period.
But it doesn't happen overnight. And when it doesn't happen overnight, that's how that burnout happens. And I remember my mentor over a decade ago literally telling me, and this woman has, you know, her PhD in this work, and she's been in the industry for multiple decades. But she told me to rest, not to quit. And then when we were talking about what that rest looks like, it's resting from the people, even the people that you seem to trust, even the people that are in your corner. You have to rest from a lot of things in this work because it's heart-wrenching. It's exhausting. You're literally listening to everyone else's problems. And you're like, y'all, I'm a human too. I also have my own things. And for me, connecting with you, it was like, you got it. Like, you gave me the space to listen, but then also we challenged each other. And that's the type of friendships I want in my age right now and in my career. That challenge. That person that's going to call you out. That person that's going to tell you this is how you're going to grow. That person that's going to be like, you sure you want to do that? You want to think through it again? I know that you can do it, but it's not about you being able to do it. It's about, is it the right time for you to do it? Does it make sense for you to do it? Are you organized about it? How are you going to go about it? What's the outcome going to be? Like, I told you, you're going to be a star. I know that you're going to be a star. I don't say that to everybody, but like, you have the work ethic, you have the passion, you have the talent, you have the skill. There's no flipping way that you're not going to be. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. So I want to be able to do what I can to get you to where you are. And I know no matter what that looks like, I'm also going to thrive in that space too.
Yeah. You're going to thrive in that space because you're just sharp. I mean, period. I mean, I'm definitely the type of person, I really get off, like, I'm weirdly turned on by, like, just being able to say, first of all, my friend group. Look at just look at my friend group. We have all colors, all shapes, all sizes, all brilliances. You fit. But I think it's so important, like, just the differences, the things that you're saying. I feel like and hope that people, especially those who, I got a lot of people in the MooreLaughing family who are introverts, who appreciate me because I bring that sister girl vibe, but then they can cut me off and mind their business. It's not, and I myself through the pandemic have learned how introverted that I am, or how much I really would rather be by myself. And I think I just, over time, with other kind of traumas and blah, 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 I just became this people person, pleaser or performer that I didn't really want to. But from this conversation, I feel like we're just kind of reminding people how much value you can get from stepping outside of your comfort zone. I mean, we didn't share, but you and I, we live in different states. We had not met each other in the beginning, just all of that. And now we're about to turn up in Charlotte because I didn't tell the coworker community, but we're going to let them in on it. Well, they already know because I've been saying for the last 500 episodes that I have, and this is episode 6, but that I'm having a birthday and I want to go to the classiest place that I could twerk. You know what I'm saying? I want to twerk professionally. Give me the nicest space that we can go. And so you, myself, and some other friends, I'm excited you get to meet some of my other friends in my life. We're just going to just have a nice time. But again, it just came from you being someone that I knew that I can grow with. And because you were so committed to your own professional excellence, because I don't have any tolerance. Like, if you don't do your own job well, people want to work with More Laughing and they want to do this and they want to do that. Like, girl, I've never seen an email yet without a typo from your stuff. What am I gonna do with that? And so anyway, so you just shared that. Okay, so I know we got to wrap this up. But I have a question for you, because you talked about your mentor. And I didn't have in the beginning of my journey. It was years before I had a professional mentor. And then last week I did an episode on sponsorship, because my sponsor and the guest, my coworker cousin from last week, was Jim Franklin. And so we talked about, and I understood that concept through him. Sponsorship, I got to learn about how important it is to have somebody in the room that you're not in, probably can't get in, to be speaking on your behalf and pulling them up. Do you have any really quick thoughts about the difference between mentoring and sponsoring? Do you think it's the same? How has been your experience finding a sponsor?
No, I don't think people confuse sponsorships, mentorships, and coaching all the time. All the time. And this last year, 2022, was the first time that I actually sat down with somebody and had that differentiated real, like, clearly for me. But for me, from a very young age, I mean, in my early 20s, even before my 20s, honestly, I had mentors, like, and all of my mentors have been women, specifically Black women, specifically African women, until I got to corporate America, where now my sponsor.
Because shout out to Nimo, she is an African woman. She's an African American. I am a Black woman. For those of you who are not either of the two, there's a difference, and we'll get to that. But Nimo and I have shown that we have diversity amongst both of us being Black women. We're so different, and we've learned so much from each other as a result of that. But back over to you.
Yeah. So just understanding the difference between the three areas, and then first of all, understanding the difference between the three areas lets you know which area you actually need to step foot into. So like, I don't really need coaching, and I don't really need sponsorship, but I need a mentor. And for me, a mentor is seeing someone in the position that I want. I don't want to be a CDO. Like, I don't want to get to that space. I don't think that I'm going to be in DEI forever, and I'm probably going to branch out. And that's why being in this entrepreneurial space with you and learning from you is really beneficial for me. I said that so quick.
I love it.
But once I realized, this person is doing things, one, their ethics, their moral standing was exceptional to me. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right? And it's hard to do things the right way, because you're not trying to cut corners. You're trying to work smarter, not harder, but you can't cut corners. And then trying to explain that to folks was really challenging. So for me, I put myself, and this is what my mentor taught me, put yourself in the hardest position you could possibly put yourself into. And for me, DEI, the hardest position is if you're building something from the ground up, because you literally have to create everything. And then you have to get all of the buy-in from the employees, from the leadership, from your stakeholders, from everywhere. So very big difference. I know we can't get into it. Maybe on another episode we can.
Yeah, we need to get into it, because baby, I'm like, oh my God, I got to take my kid to soccer game.
Yeah, no. I encourage anyone, especially people of color, especially young people of color, find yourself a mentor that is in a position that you want to be in, like 10 years from now, not like 2-3 years from now of your entry level, but 10 years from now, and then learn as much as you can. Let them scrutinize the crap out of it. I mean, this woman would sit in the back of my presentations, rooms full, dozens of people, and she would take notes, and she would make ticks every single time I like clenched my fist, or if my body language was off, or if I said or liked too much, or any little thing that I did so that I can become the best that I can be. And it was hard. But it was great, because now I'm looking back at it and I'm like, I am who I am because of all of those women who literally were just like, Nimo, you're going to be great. And so then now I have a responsibility to do that for the next generation of women as well.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Yeah, we definitely, I want to talk about that more with you. I think for me, what you just said was super key. Once you understand the difference between the three, then you'll know what you need. And I was at a space where I needed a sponsor. I just thought sponsor and mentorship was the same. I had the talent, I got skills, I got whatever that I didn't even know how to advocate for. And so I needed somebody else to say, she should be in finance. She should be in the world of such and such. But what you just said was just so crucial. And the piece that you opened up that I'm like, oh, that's a whole nother episode, is really, I wanted to spend time talking with you about how important it is to know what you're good at or what environment you are better at, because I think that will better help us be successful. You were talking about knowing that you had to be in that, you're in a space where you're building something where there's nothing. And I think that I am learning that I need to be, especially if I'm not controlling it, I need to be where it's already built. And I just follow along with what you want me to do. But I'm finding some spaces where if I am supposed to be creating something that does not exist and I don't have the buy-in, I don't do well. Because I'm not a natural fighter. I'm not going to ask you twice. I'm going to say it one time. I'm going to come with a suggestion. I'm going to put my all into it the first time. If you resist, then I'm going to, so I'm just learning those things. But when you said that just now, I'm like, wow, I think that would help us if we really started to think about what environments and spaces or dynamics make us our best. Then that will help us pick jobs differently. That will help us select projects. That will help us advocate for ourselves when we're voluntold on things. So I want to spend some time with you in that, because I never thought about that. Anyway, but I just appreciate you always help me think of things I never thought about.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for. Okay. And we also got to spend some time talking about the diversity in 2 Black women. Like, that's a whole thing too. So basically what we're saying is you are a coworker cousin that we need to have back several times. We want to have some more conversations. Yeah. Well, let's have you back next week. Let's have you back. But because I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, I've been divorced. I was married for a long time. I have 3 children. I am a Christian. I was born and raised and lived in the same place for 39 years, pretty much. And your experiences are so different. You have an international mindset. You're a Muslim. You're African. You have so many different things than I have. And just as we've been learning each other, I'm like, what? And people would think like Black women say the same. You and I do not say the same thing. We don't say the same thing. And I just love it. And I'm excited about sharing that with our coworker friends and cousins.
I appreciate you for having me and to just give this platform to, honestly, a lot of people don't talk. A lot of African-American women don't really talk about African issues and what it is to be African and a woman in this country, because I'm seen as just a Black woman. Nobody sees me as like my actual nationality or my ethnicity is just I'm Black and I'm in America. And that's cool because that's how people treat me and I have to recognize that. But I appreciate you giving the platform and letting people know, like, there is a difference. We're not a monolith. We have different perspectives, but we can still support each other. We can still be here for each other. We can still build bonds and relationships and friendships that can blossom, right? So thank you.
Yeah. And that help each other, because baby, once you told me that you don't have the same piercing to like the N word and things like that, I'm like, you know what? Your experiences will totally help me. And even from that conversation 3, 4, 6 months ago, I got permission to say, I don't have to feel this way about somebody else's insult, because I was literally, now I have a friend who doesn't feel that way about an insult. And it just helped me to have the wherewithal to process through these experiences that come my way. And now I have another way to handle it through your lens. I don't know if that was helpful, but it was helpful to me when just my relationship with you. So anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a friend. Okay, sorry. Anyway, okay, so look, do you have any closing comments or remarks from our coworker cousins before we go?
Well, I don't know when this is going to be published, but for those who are celebrating Ramadan Mubarak, and I hope y'all are having a great month so far. And then, as always, honestly, like, thank you for just allowing me to be here and for being a great friend and for being an inspiration to me.
No, thank you for being an inspiration to me. And before we go, how do I greet my Muslim brothers and sisters during the month of Ramadan? Do I just say, for those who are celebrating Ramadan, happy Ramadan? Okay. Yeah,
it's literally like the Merry Christmas stuff. It's like the happy holidays. It's literally, you say it to anyone, even if it's Hindus or, for Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, you just say happy holiday for whatever it is. So Muslims around the world, happy holiday. That's it.
Love it. Muslims around the world, happy holiday. All right, boom. So I will call you. I'm going to call you in a few minutes anyway after this. But shout out to you. Thanks again for just being on this show, being a supporter, just being somebody who's in my ear that's like, yeah, that's a conversation. Other people like, it's about work stuff. And you're like, yes, girl, let's get into it. It's a whole bunch of us out here. So I appreciate you. I love you. I cannot wait to see you soon and twerk with you. I mean, drink champagne. And thank you for adding so much color and value to our coworker cousin community.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So stay with us because we have a couple more segments, and we will be right back after the break. Welcome back. So today, our More Laughing All the Way to the Bank message is just, we are 10 toes down in accountability, period. And this is for me. This is not even for you. So if this is your first time listening to the show, our More Laughing All the Way to the Bank segment is where we just talk personal finance, because I never had that community. I just never had anybody that I talked to money about. I just made terrible decisions all by myself. That's it. So now, I'm trying to catch up. And I want to make it normal to talk with my friends and my community about just money things. And so I think that way I'll grow and learn and understand how other people think about it and vice versa. So it's accountability. I'm going to be honest with you. Last week, I'm so embarrassed. I mean, I'm not embarrassed, but I am a little bit. But last week, I talked about having money habits, and we spent some moments in that. I think that was like inspired by a financial coach who was just like, I think through that conversation, I learned that these are other ways that you can measure your relationship with money more than just your dollar amount or your net worth. But like, what are your habits? And here are also ways that you can kind of gauge and measure, or goals, or disciplines that you could put into place that'll help you reach your goals. So that's our conversation last week. And so I'm like, with that being said, let's develop the habit for those of us who have not really been good at saving money and keeping it in the savings. Then let's develop the habit of, hey, we're going 3 months or 6 months where we don't touch our savings. Like that in itself becomes the thing, that we develop the habit that our savings is not a backup checking account. So we talked about that last week. Come on now. Don't y'all know 2 days later after here, I go up there, got the nerve to be telling somebody what a suggestion was, had a little itch, had a little something I was trying to buy. I was like, I get paid tomorrow. I would just slide this 500 right back over there tomorrow. And then the morrow came, and I did get paid, but I also have teenagers. I have a kid in college. I have one that's going to college, a 12th grade girl, and then I have a third girl. It's spring break. Like, I don't know if that $500 disappeared in 3 seconds or 2, but I just know that it never made it back to not just the savings. It's like, I can't even tell. If it weren't for the fact that I was there, I wouldn't have even known it existed, y'all. It just went so daggone fast. And I'm like, but why? But why? But why? And I just had that conversation. So today it's accountability. Today I'm grateful for this community. Today I'm glad to just be able to talk about it, because this is not something I would have even known to think or just have a conversation with a friend about. But saying it out loud and normalizing bad money moves and talking about it, helps me remember. It helps me to cement I don't want to do that again, so that next time I'm not just reminded of the experience, then I'm reminded of telling my community about it after I just, like, the whole thing, you ain't gotta worry about it. I ain't messing with, at least not for that 500 that I used it for, but whatever. So I think there's a lot of benefit for this segment, and just thanks for listening. I want you to be accountable. Talk to somebody about your money. Talk to somebody. Some of y'all married and you ain't even you know what, anyway. Listen, come on, right back. Let me take a quick break, and then we got an off the record letter. We got a real letter because we had it last week, and I was running my mouth too much, and we're gonna read it today, right after the break. Welcome back. Today, I am so excited about our off the record. Y'all, this is my favorite segment, okay? Because I'm just excited that you have a friend in HR ish that you can ask questions off the record to. Like, come on. Come on. So make sure that you're writing your questions. Ask Allison, MooreLaughing@gmail.com. Ask me an off the record question. You know, one that you would ask the HR lady that you liked if it would be off the record and you didn't have to worry about it coming to bite you in the butt. Yeah, send me those questions. Let's figure out what you're going through at work, whether it's super serious and professional or petty. I'm here for both, period, code switch. And I'm excited to read your letter. So today's letter, and I don't know why I sabotaged myself like this, set myself up, because I hand wrote it out, took it off my phone and hand wrote it. Like, that was a good idea. I already struggle with reading a little bit, you know. Every now and then I might trip a little on a couple of words, you know what I'm saying? Your mama can't read past 9th grade level, and that's all right. And that's all right. But I'm just saying, don't judge me, because I got a lot of levels and I still get nervous when I'm reading. So, okay. Anywho, it's my own handwriting, so I should be struggling. You know what I'm saying? It just adds extra struggle. Why am I being passive aggressive to you? Because I can't read my handwriting. It's not your fault. But thank you for joining me today. All right, so here's our letter. Our letter says, "Dear Allison." Y'all, is it just me, or is this feeling official? Is it giving? Okay, let me keep going. All right, I'll keep going. What would you do if you had a disability case? My case is taking so long. I never wanted anybody to know, so I didn't tell my supervisor when I started this job. Oh, pause. This is the part of why I thought this is so perfect, because wait, let me read the letter. Okay, y'all, wait, I'm nervous. Hold it. I guess I should read the letter and not interrupt the reading and give you commentary until I'm done. How does work? Somebody tell me how this work. How y'all like your ass letters? Anyway, all right, I'm back. I'm back to reading. Okay, so she didn't tell anybody. This is a childhood thing. I never wanted any pity. I didn't want anybody to feel like that I was a victim. I have always had my accommodations satisfied by myself. I have a vision impairment, which does not allow me to drive. I have never been able to drive, but I have always gotten a ride with my family. It's my own thing that I've worked out, so I never needed to let anybody at work know. They just thought that I carpooled. But my ride has changed and I cannot ride, but I can't ride. My ride has changed. I cannot ride. But again, she didn't write this like this. I'm reading this like this. Bear with me. We'll get better. Stick around next week. Will Allison be able to read again? Okay, focus. Okay, so her ride has changed, or her ride accommodations have changed. So she's no longer able to get a ride, but she can't take the bus because of the disability. Too many people around, too much anxiety, would have a hard time, will have a hard struggle time. So I told my manager, and my manager was giving trash. You know, not all managers give trash. I know some excellent managers, but the ones that do give trash, they give funky trash. Okay, focus, keep reading. I read the handbook and I knew that our job will let you work from home if you need that accommodation. I have been there for 2 years. I told my manager that I had a disability. It was my first time telling him, and I told him that I was going to need the accommodations. He said that he didn't know anything about this and felt like that this was real suspicious. Long story short, it has now been almost a month and a half. It's still making me come to work, which is, I cannot explain how much of a hardship it is, because Ubers is just it worse than a babysitter. Woo, I got girl. Ubers, yes. Ubers worse than a babysitter. I don't want to press the issue and get in trouble, but at the same time, I feel like that he is only holding back my request because he thinks that I'm making this up, or upset that he did not know that I had a disability all of this time. What should I do? Yeah, we had a letter. We had. Oh, that was a letter. Okay. All right. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm focused. I am ready to answer. Okay. Okay. So listen, friend. No, 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 no. Coworker, cousin. You're definitely family. You wrote in. You here with us. So, you're not tripping. Oftentimes, I mean, we're people. We bring our people selves to work. So, whereas I am not excusing your manager for delaying, interfering, questioning, making you feel uncomfortable, or any of those things, I am saying that maybe he was thinking through, or thinking with his ego, that he did not know something about somebody that has been working for him for so long, more about himself and less about you. And that is what happens when we interact with humans. Humans tend to think about ourselves and not the other people. And then we just react off of that. That could be it. It could be a myriad of other reasons why he is just being a jerk, whether it be because he himself don't know, I don't know, all the things, all of the things. I mean, there's just so many things. He doesn't know how to handle these types of situations. He doesn't obviously know his own company policy. He does just not have any bedside manner. I mean, he is just missing quite a few skill sets. Um, Maybe that's whatever. Or I, bottom line, because I don't want to make it about him, I want to make it about you. I want to applaud you for sharing for it, or advocating for yourself. I can only imagine how uncomfortable that was for you, and how hard it was for you. It took a lot of courage. If you have a situation that, I mean, you've been working here two years, right? 2 years, and you were not comfortable to let them know in 2 years. So this is something that I can only imagine what you went through to even be able to get to the point to say, hey, my guy, I need support. I'm about to ask for accommodations or whatever. So shout out to you. And just know that there's so many people who need accommodations, who have accommodations, and I know that you already know. But the need for accommodations, they speak to nothing else about you except you need the accommodation. Obviously, it doesn't validate you or invalidate any part about you. If anything, it just makes you that much more extra special, because it's our differences, it's our needs, it's who we are that makes us who we are. The other piece I want to say off the record to you is, girl, take that handbook to the offices. If you are not getting support internally, then you need to go externally. And trust me, you have a disability. Your needs and concerns will be addressed and given attention to and protected, because legally, you've been working there. I don't know how large your organization is to know if you qualify for FMLA or not, but in time wise, you do. Um, I don't know, certain organizations, if they're real small, then they don't, you know, that's not their battle to fight. But there's so many things here that so many missteps in so many ways that your leadership team failed you, but you have rights, and you have rights, and you just deserve it, right? Like, you come to work, you are giving a large part of who you are, your energy, your brain, your experience, your skill sets, your talent, the fruit of who you are. You're at the prime. You're at your prime. I believe that everybody is in their prime. We're all in our prime, whatever that is. We're all at our this is a great time for us to be for ourselves right now, right? And so your organization should support you. It's their policy that if you need an accommodation, they'll let you work from home. That's their policy. They put that in the handbook. So you use it. If it's in there, you encourage your supervisor. If he's still 6 weeks or whatever is a long time, go to the person above him or her. If that doesn't work, you need to go outside your organization and get you some support. You do have a case for sure. I hate that would have to be what it comes to, but I just want you to make sure that you protect yourself and you don't let the emotional part of this get in the way of that. This is something that you have, held close to you and dear to you for years. And I just don't want you to be in like that's why I don't like telling people and this kind of stuff always happen. Like that's not really necessarily true. You just got a trash manager, period. That's in his feelings that he didn't know that you got a whatever. And you don't let this be something that cripples you. You're courageous. You're brave for moving forward and switching it up. And I'm excited about you in your future. Thank you so much for writing in to me. I was like, to who? Girl, to me. Yes, you did, to me. All right. So that was your off the record for today. And I want to just thank everybody for hanging out with us. I really appreciate you. This is episode 6. You know what I'm saying? We are like, round up, we're like almost in double digits. I mean, really, we're basically at 100 episodes. Like, we're like right there. Really? Anyway, I hope that you continue to have a fantastic day. This is the day. You in your prime, yo. This is it. We are in our prime. Let's maximize our days today. Go ahead and smile at somebody. Like, show them that you ain't mean. Lift that resting face up. That resting face. Right now, you probably looking crazy. Smile when you get off this podcast. Share this with somebody, and then I'll see you next week. Toodles.